Hey, uh, how's it going, PD? Right, we were changing out this here, quick change. What is this, a Winters? Quick change? Or DMI, but it's Winters gears in it, I think. But quick change, we were changing out. We swapped it around a bit, just try and figure out how to make it go faster, and broke one of the studs. I'll flip it around here. Yeah. So we have these studs, and then there's these like thingos here, nuts that go on there. They like stand off, and this is all like aluminum and hardened, maybe titanium, but probably not aluminum casing. So just from repeated on and off, I guess it snapped off. And of course they're Loctited in, so we gave a little heat on here. We tapped on the case there to kind of loosen things up. Drilled out a hole, and I do recommend these carbide tipped, or carbide, or whatever they are, cobalt, or yeah, cobalt, that's the one. These are really good. We drilled out a pilot hole, then we drilled it out a bit bigger. I'll show you the easy out when we get this thing out. And then you tap on the end, give it some torquelators on the side there, and we snapped it loose, and so now, oh, look at that, it just turns right out. So we'll get this one out, and in true dirt track racing styles, instead of buying a new scud, we just made one. So see how it pops out? So this is a fluted straight cut easy out, so you kind of always have to keep tapping it just to keep it tight in there. But we can probably, there we go. We could grab hold of it with like a vice grips if we had such a thing, but we don't. So we're doing with what we got. Fortunately, it wasn't really critical, so we kept racing the other night and had a nice outing. So that was it. Now the hole's nice and clean, we don't even have to really chase it. But I did bring the old Tapperoonie here just to double check it. And it's nice and clean still. We'll run it in and out just to make sure, because there's bound to be crap in there and it'll probably bite us in the butt if we don't. So this is a 3/8 by 16 at 1 1/3 inch, which is about 45 mil. So the 3/8 obviously is the diameter of the rod, and the 16 is 16 threads per inch. The other common size would be a 3/8 by 24, which would be a fine thread. So if you're in New Zealand, that doesn't make any sense to you because none of that's metric. But for everyone not in New Zealand, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's good. I'm just trying to keep it from falling in this oil here. And then I made this out of a grade 5 bolt, and I just chased it down with a tap earlier today. And so that's a nice hardened bolt. So when it snaps next time, it'll be really difficult to get out. And then we'll just Loctite it in there, and then we're literally off to the races, but not tonight. So I'll do this, and then we'll catch you up in a bit. So that was it. Got it out. These are the nuts that they use. They've got like a flange on there for some reason. And then the case here, it's got all these cooling fins on it. It gets pretty toasty. We switched the gears right after the race on the weekend, and it was toasty. That was hot. The oil just like water out of there when it's hot. Now it's cold and it's taking like hours for it to dribble out there the last little bit. But got a bunch of different gear sets here. So they're just straight cut gears that you plop in there. And different ratios. That's the only way to adjust your throttle or your RPM speed when you're racing is to adjust the gears, because there's no transmission. And so, and your rear end is what, 486?
Yes.
Yeah. So the pinion gear ratio is 486, and so then you adjust these, and there's like a sheet that tells you what they are and stuff, and so then you're trying to match it to the racetrack so that you get the right RPMs and you get the right out of the hole, like out of the corner, but you don't max out on the straight. So we did what, 2 changes on the weekend?
Yeah, we changed down, and then we went back to what we were running.
Yeah.
Just to see what it was going to do.
And then with endless money and a huge racing trailer, you'd have one of each gear, so then you could have gone in between, and it probably would have been like just right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears kind of scenario. You never find just the right bed to sleep in, because there's always one more set that you could buy, and then you could, well, maybe there's a half set. You know, it's just like not quite this one, not quite the other one. But then you adjust the tire size and the stagger and all the stuff that we don't know, that we're just fumbling through. So
yeah, under that you can see the drip mark.
So that's how it looks when it's back together. It's not super complicated, everybody. This is turning nuts 101. And you give them all the torques.
Unless you're me, then you can't.
You give them 100% of the torques. My dad used to always tell me, you tighten it till it strips, and then you just back it off a quarter turn, and you know you're good. But you've all done it. You've all done that thing where you strip it, and you know you stripped it, and you really should take it apart, but you figure, I'll just find the spot where it feels the tightest, and we'll just leave it there. So we had to put that back together because it wouldn't stop dripping, and we need to put the oil back in it, so that's where we're at. Yeah, so that was it. Just a quick little thingo there. You just want to make sure when you're drilling out those holes, or drilling out the stud, that you stay clear of the casing, because you don't want to get into the casing and then you're kind of hooped. You got to oversize it or put in coil or something, and that's just a lot of extra work. Hey, I'm just driving back home from Petey's spot there where he's got the car. Guys, don't forget to like the channel, like the videos, do the stuff, comment below, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you soon.